Yeah, thank you very much. So for those of you wondering, is this an Angular talk? Actually, no. Angular died. Angular's gone. Just went away. Kind of fizzled. Some people are happy. I'm kind of sad. I had a love-hate relationship with Angular. So I'm like, whatever. So we're going to be talking about Neutrino. I had about 5 weeks to prepare this. I researched Angular on and off for about 2 years. And then, oh, bastards are hard. There you go. And then I found out, like, oh, I need to completely revamp my entire presentation. So here we go. Let's do it. Okay, our agenda for today, we're going to be talking about Neutrino, not Angular. We're going to talk about what exploit kits are, how they function, how they work, and then we're going to pull apart a sample. My focus today is on the exploit kit portion itself. So we're not going to focus too much on the actual exploits that are being leveraged in there. I'll mention one of them, and we will break down what occurs, the shell code that actually runs, things of that nature. But I want to focus mostly on that. So for example, like the malware that it drops also, like we're just going to kind of reference that and move on. You'll see what I mean. All right, I'd like this to be kind of a two-way communication. So the B-Sites crew really likes it when people are involved and people participate, things of that nature. And I like to run my damn mouth and talk to people too, so it kind of works out, all right? So I'm like, hey, who does this? You know, participate, or pretend like participating, one of the two, whatever. And then here's mine, yeah, we're not talking about Angular. Sorry. The programs went to press before I actually officially changed it, so no biggie. All right, this is me. I work at Incident Response for Bechtel Corporation. We're the largest construction and engineering and project management company in the United States, one of the biggest in the world. Think like mega projects, like tens of billions of dollars over years and years and years. We build stuff. I don't build a damn thing. I don't swing a hammer, but you get the idea. I have some education stuff, some certs, but I know you don't give a damn, so moving on. I like to run my mouth, though, and that's going to help because I like to present, and so I get to do that. Let's do it. I like these things. I do open mic comedy at the, I was practicing earlier, by the way, at a local place where I live in Phoenix. I love retro gaming. I like to read sci-fi, fantasy stuff. And anyone here do CrossFit? Raise your hand. Don't lie. Don't you lie. You know, you heard the joke, right? How you know if someone does CrossFit or if they're a doctor? Yeah, they'll tell you. I started doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I'm turning into one of those guys. They're like, oh, you have to do it. Trying to convert all my friends. It's kind of sad. So this is our Security Operations Center. It looks pretty. This is a professional photo we had taken, and I just like to show it off. Rupert hangs out and just poses for us. All right, exploit kits. What are they? So exploit kits, it's a business. It's a business of exploiting hosts and getting a particular strain of malware onto the greater number of hosts as possible. This is business. This is a huge competition. It's a vendor-based competition. So you may have heard of Angular previously, and we're going to talk about what happened to Angular, and we'll talk about Neutrino. But in reality, there's three primary actors. Let's just pretend, all right? Let's just play pretensies that some of you in here create your own malware. I'm sure you don't do that, right? But let's just say you did. And let's just say that you wanted to spread your malware to the most number of hosts possible. Like, how would you go about doing that? Well, you would basically hire someone who runs the exploit kit. And the thing is, you give them the malware, and their goal is to spread it for you. So there's three primary actors. There's the campaigns, the people who redirect the actual traffic to the exploit kit. There's the exploit kit people who run the infrastructure to try to exploit as many boxes as possible. And then there's the malware authors who provide their malware and then pay for it to be distributed. So it does so, but we're going to break down exactly how Neutrino does its little thing here. But the idea is very simple. The exploit kit landing page enumerates the hosts, it checks its capabilities, it looks for non-patched software essentially, and if it sees that something is vulnerable, it just goes, all right, go. And if it fails, it says, fuck it. But if it works, then it goes, yay! And that's pretty much how it works. So it just casts a very wide net, if you will. The redirect process is pretty simple. The host over here, the user over here, better yet, goes to what he or she believes is a completely legitimate site. There's some funny ones that get exploited, by the way, but I'll save that research for another talk. And when they go to this site, what happens is in the back end, their browser gets redirected over to a quote-unquote bulletproof site, and that site is what's hosting the landing page for the exploit kit. This is typically done in the background and hidden iframes and all kinds of other fun stuff. The user has no idea it's even occurring, and exploitation occurs, and then, oops. So, anyone here familiar with a bulletproof site? You know what that term refers to? You don't, can't say it. All right, someone tell me.
Coffee.
What? Coffee. Damn good coffee though, right? MCT oils? Yeah, buddy, I like this one. How about a real answer? Dick. Yeah?
How about not responding to abuse requests?
Damn right, damn right. You know when there's a problem like EDUs always get popped dropped, right? And they have open mail relays all the time, and they're being abused. So you send an email to their abuse department, and they have terms of service, and they immediately respond to that, right? Well, a bulletproof hoster doesn't give a damn. They just click delete. It's like, I don't give a damn. So they use those to host their illegitimate software and such. Okay, before we get too far into this, I want to talk about mitigation, and this is part of the conversation piece here. We have a couple different tools at Bechtel that help us immensely with exploit kits. All right, so this is, I guess, a little plug for OpenDNS, and for, funny enough, I feel like such a weirdo being a security guy. Like, oh yeah, AMD is great. Like, really? But Symantec Endpoint Protection has an IDS built in, and that little bastard catches a lot of freaking drive-bys. Specifically, OpenDNS has this feature called the drive-by download exploits, and I don't know who runs that for them. I should probably find out and give them a plug, but they do a damn good job. It was stopping Angular left and right. So we also have FireEye that just kind of alerts us, but it's not inline, so it's just more of like, hey, oops, and then we go, damn it, and then we have to go deal with it. So that's not really mitigation, if you ask me. All right, but what about you? Who here deals with exploit kits on like a daily basis, or every once in a while? Who works on the blue team here? You're sharing higher, but it's okay. She's like, I don't want to say. What tools do you use that help you mitigate them? OpenDNS, cool. Oh, so you basically correlate activity and you hunt, essentially, right? So what you're saying is basically they're looking for known TTPs that they find in particular samples, and then they hunt for those in their network, and they say, oh, look, oops. Right, then I guess you can implement those in your custom snort rules or whatever you guys are doing there. Anyone else? What tools are you using? What's helping you with exploit kits?
Same as you.
Same as me?
Same as you.
Or us?
And then we have our
Oh, you have the web MPS is inline?
yeah.
Okay. Wow, what a show. All right. So anyone here else have a web MPS inline? Stops everything. Little bastard. That's why we don't have them inline. What about eMPSs? Do you have them inline to email appliances? They stop a lot of the same type of malware that will be dropped, but of course not individually. Methodologies.
We won't really with like handfuls of it's kind of different than most of the whole is it's not in Alexa, not for them, and
Really?
yeah, so depending on some of the countries, something like this,
All right.
so we do stuff most, but we do get some creative input there when you go to the website.
For legitimate research, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of what we do have some incidents where the landing page will on one of those websites.
Yep. Okay, so basically, he says they have pretty much an implicit deny situation. They whitelist very few sites. Of course, some of those, as you said, can be. Gotcha. Okay. Domain tools API. What else are you guys using for your domain research and reputation scoring? Domain tools. What else?
Total.
Fast total. Heck yeah. Anyone else? No? Fine. Whatever. All right. OpenDNS. Investigate. That's good. Virus total. API correlations on those. Those are good. I'm talking about. Moving on. All right. Keeping up with exploit kits. Now, I like to just tear apart the samples. I really like reversing, and I like to pretend like I'm a reverse engineer. Like, I know what I'm doing. And, I pretend a lot. So what I do is I like to pick apart samples, but I don't like to sit there and just look at all the different EKs that are occurring and keep up with their changes and variants and all that. I leave that to the professionals. There are 4 of them that I highly recommend. One of them is Brad's site, malwaretrafficanalysis.net. Our sample today comes from that site. There's also Malware for Me, which is Jack's site. He's sitting back there. Hey, Jack, how's it going, bud?
I'm sorry, I need to ask a question.
Yeah.
Did you ask for a really outrageous speaker request?
Yes, I
Like
did.
Maybe a golden.
Hell yeah, I did.
With Jack's and Vanessa.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Yay. Thank you. That is so great.
Sorry to interrupt you, Mark.
I'm getting so drunk in this thing tonight. That is phenomenal. So in the call for papers, they had like do you have a ridiculous request? And I was like, shit, yeah, I do. I want a golden chalice that says Chaps on one side and B-Sides Las Vegas on the other. And I fucking got it. That is fantastic. I'm gonna walk around the hotel and be like, what the hell's that? I'll tell you. There's a story. Okay. That's so great. Okay. Broad Analysis is a fantastic site. And then there's Malware Don't Need Coffee, which is a guy named Caffeine, runs the site. He's extremely involved in the EK scene. I swear he writes a couple of them. I swear to God. I don't know him personally, but I message with him. I'm like, you know a lot about things. Okay, the evolution of the exploit kit. Anyone here ever deal with Impact back in 2006? I don't even know what the hell I was doing back in 2006. I don't know. We're going to skip ahead a little bit, okay? That's 10 years ago. What's up? Oh, you think so? Well, I want to look at that now. Okay, the source of the actual backend infrastructure? Maybe leave for Impact? Oh, I gotta go look at that. Oh. Okay. Oh, I'm just thinking of what to do with that. All right, anyway. So in 2010, 2013, it was really became a black hole. Kind of a catchy tune, I like it. It's not related to Pokemon, is it? Was it? Is that a Pokemon tune? Anyone know? Alright, I'm in Pokemon shit. Alright, so 2012 and 13, black hole ran the roost. Like, it just literally just owned. It was constant. Our fire, I was like, oops, oops. Oh, I wouldn't shut up. It sucked. So the alleged creator, who went by the name Punch, was arrested in 2013, and immediately black hole just fell off the face of the planet. So was he the one who actually ran it? I still haven't seen confirmation of that, but come on. So after that, Red Kit, Nuclear, Sweet Orange, there's a bunch of other ones in here. I don't want to go over every single freaking one. Those are the major players, but Angler became the big dog. Speaking of which, hey, what you doing? Oh, okay, just pretend that didn't happen. Moving on. So you'll see down here in May of 2015, Angler had the lion's share of the market, 82%, and it just increased from there. Seriously, it had a stranglehold, really. Yeah. So about that, Nuclear disappeared in April of this year. Just went away. I have not seen attribution yet to it. You? Any idea where it went away? Did you stop writing it? That's how it was out. All right. So, and then in June, 50 people were arrested in relation to a Lurk malware campaign. Lurk was using a derivative, technically a variant of Angler. Oh, it's triple X, right? Wasn't that it? I think. Anyways, these people all get arrested, and then Angler just disappears. So the question was, well, is it gone, or is it just like temporarily gone? Well, the thing is that all the popular campaigns, the people who get paid a lot of money to redirect traffic, the ones who were very, very devoted to Angler, they all switched to Neutrino. When I say they all, you know what I mean, the big names, switched to Neutrino. So everyone was like, ooh, that's probably just gone. In fact, Neutrino, capitalizing on this, because why wouldn't you? They doubled their price. So their monthly price went from $3,500 to $7,000. So that's another, and then they made a statement saying, we're not going anywhere. So I was like, all right, I see what you're doing there. And then here's F-Secure Labs showing that in June we have, well, technically July actually, through, what month is this? Was that projections? What the hell's going on there? I just realized that. It's in the future, man. Look at this. What's going on here? What kind of bullshit is that? This is August, right? Shit. What did I do last night? I don't know where I am. Is that what's going on? Oh, I just drank one this morning, that's all. All right. So this is actually just going up to mid-June. Oh, I thought that was funnier and cooler. Boop. All right, so, damn it. This is recorded, right? That's going to be funny to watch later. All right, so Neutrino took over. Neutrino uses a single Swift file, one flash file, to do all the damage. We'll get into that coming up. So I want to talk about campaigns first off. Actually, we kind of already covered this. The people who run the campaigns are the ones who redirect the traffic to the landing pages, right? So technically, they can be the same as the people who run the backend infrastructure for the landing page and the whole exploit kit, or they can be completely different. So what campaigns are you all seeing in your networks? Are you seeing them? EI test and pseudo dark glitch are like the two common ones. Anyone know which campaigns you're seeing? No?
Virtual Madonna.
What?
Virtual Madonna.
Virtual Madonna? What is it? I'm gonna go with virtual Madonna because I like that. All right. So EI test is an example, and apparently it started in 2014. We didn't start seeing it in our network until, I don't know, a year ago-ish. It uses Swift file. You know what? This is boring. Let's just do this. So what happens is they compromise a web page, and in that web page they inject some code. That code links to a Flash file. That Flash file just creates some JavaScript. The JavaScript switches over to an HTML page. The HTML page then links to the actual landing page itself. It was originally called EI test simply because of the variable names, the ID, and the name down here. You'll notice they're EI test. It's evolved since these original screenshots were taken. This comes from a Malwarebytes article by Segura back in 2014. So it's ridiculously similar. They just kind of changed the variable names. It's just still called EI test. It has a moniker to identify it. All right, here are the tools that we use to decode some of the things we're looking at. The two big players are right here in the middle. Free Flash Decompiler and then Flash Develop are just, without them, I don't know how the hell, this wouldn't be happening. I wouldn't know how the hell these things work. So we'll get into how they help me out. Over here. Oh, right here. Yeah. Nope.
What were they? FF.
Yeah, FFdeck, Free Flash Decompiler, and then Flash Develop. By the way, Flash Develop is, as far as I know, I guess nothing is doesn't. It's my favorite, I'll just say. IDE, free IDE, you just throw in the error, whatever SDK, and then you compile to your heart's content. So what I do, that leads right to the next slide. What I do is I rip the code out with FFdeck, and I turn on deobfuscation because they obfuscate the hell out of these things. Like I even put there, you're gonna yell a bit, you're like, but then you just use their deobfuscation, and you're like, oh, I can read that. Yay! Like seriously, without that tool, it would have been hell. Oh man. So then I just put the code into Flash Develop, and then I can debug it and do whatever the hell I want. Yay! So here's an example. This is when you have, for example, look at these class names that they're importing. You see those? What the hell is that? Just keep track of all those silly? No, that's stupid. But if you look up here, these features are off. But as soon as you turn them on, gotcha, bitch. So now everything's all, like, it just enumerates the class names and the variable names in order of how they're executed. So it's like, even if you're on, say you're on class 3 and you're like, shit, what gets loaded next? It's class 4, stupid. Yeah, it's really easy to use. I love it. All right, and now we do the actual analysis. What time is it? Oh, perfect. Yeah. Our sample came from malware traffic analysis. This was the original website was scarsborocricket.ca. It was a site that had injected code in it, and oopsies. This came from Brad's site, so if you check this out, that link, by the way, and I'll have references, I'll put them online later, I have them all compiled. It actually leads to a dump, and then in the dump, there's like 5 or 6. There's one EI test in that dump, and that's what we're looking for. So the malware that this particular sample was involved in delivering, it was called, and I'm going to butcher this. I did research trying to say it properly, so I don't know how to pronounce it. Anyone know how to pronounce that before I screw it up? Anyone else want to try? No? Bandicoot? Bandicoot? Is this Bandicoot? 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 Sure. I have no idea. It's just a locker. It locks, you know, a locker is a crypto locker variant wannabe kind of thing, right? It encrypts all users' files. And this one's really ghetto. It just pops up the notepad and it's like, it sucks for you. So, yeah, I don't want to, this isn't a malware analysis of this malware. This is based on how it got to the machine. So we're just going to go a little like that. So here is a little Wireshark review filtering on GET requests. And we see here the initial GET request was for the compromised site. So there's Scarsboro Cricket. And then we have 2 requests after that, and these are both EI tests right here. The first one is the Flash file itself, because they use the Flash file for redirection. And the second one, which is very similar to the first one, I'll show you exactly how, is the HTML page. And then from there, it goes to the actual landing page. And if you're wondering, this is a Swift file, this is a callback, and this is the encoded or technically encrypted malware. So, here, oh, hey, what are you doing? All right. I almost threw my mouse at myself. So here's our little guy here, and again, instead of EI test, now it's NERConnects and stuff, whatever that's all about. And then I have highlighted the actual Swift file, it's embedded, and here it is coming down in Wireshark, but that's boring, so let's just skip past that. All right, now I really want to go into the full analysis of every line of code and how it works, but we sure as hell don't have time for that. This seems ridiculous. I kept getting pissed off because, like I said, I did this in 5 weeks, and every time I extracted more information, I'm like, yeah, I'm so awesome. It was just like this nether rabbit hole, like, fucking bitch. So for this one, what I'm going to show you is what I did is I basically took out, this is ActionScript 3, by the way, which is what you end up having to debug. So if you don't know ActionScript, you just learn on the fly. That's what I did. So you look in here, and what we're doing is we're calling a function called go. Go calls a function called da, da. See that logo right there? See how da 1, and then passing 2, and passing 3? That's basically it generates JavaScript. Technically, it decodes what you're passing into anyways, and then there's the URL you're going to go to. So I just trace these out. Trace is like a console log. You just shoot it right to the console, right? And then we get the stuff down here at the bottom, and I've compiled it here. So we get a JavaScript function. So again, flash file for the redirect of EI test creates JavaScript. The JavaScript is right here. The JavaScript creates a div called D. It checks to enumerate the client to make sure they're running Internet Explorer. Can we say that one more time? It checks the client to ensure that they are running Internet Explorer. Now, completely unrelated here, how many of you force your users to use Internet Explorer? Or maybe not you, but management. Shit. No, you're liars. You're filthy liars. No, I'm calling bluff on all of you. You're trying to tell me that you distribute Chrome or Firefox to your users? Or you allow them to use it? Why do they do that shit? He says they have free will, but they still choose IE because yay! Like, if you have a user using IE, just show them a screenshot and be like, hey, stop it. All the AI test redirects, all of them from this particular set of campaign redirects, will go Firefox? Screw it. All right. Anyways, it just bothers me. Okay. And then what it does is down near the inner HTML, it sets it to the base URL of the Swift file itself, plus a little suffix that's made pseudo-randomly. And that pseudo-random part is created right here in this for loop. And it's basically going to be a bunch of letters and then one of these suffixes right here. So I ripped that part out and I threw it in a loop that runs 20 times. And here's an example of the crap it spits out. So it's going to be the base URL plus some crap like this. Our example is right here. So in our live capture, see that curve funkin.htm? Yeah, so that's the actual HTML page that then redirects to the landing page. Here's some more redirect. This is the actual HTML page itself. It tries to redirect using 2 different methods. It uses the meta refresh and it uses JavaScript location ref silly stuff. Yeah.
Users not see any of this, right? This is all
yeah.
rectangles.
Yep. Yep. To reiterate, look, this is all in the background. User has no idea this is all happening. All right, now we hit the landing page. Yeah. So we've just handed over control of execution from our referring EI test campaign to the actual exploit kit infrastructure. Neutrino uses one Swift file. One Swift file. Now, one Swift file. It's the third time I said that for a reason, and it's in bold up there that we've blocked Flash in our environment. How many of you have blocked Flash? Really? Yeah, hell yeah. Suck it, right? Like Neutrino. So the cool thing about this is, remember the hacking team corpus that came out? Right, when that came out, we actually had, we're recording this one. We had an attempted thing and nothing happened and it was great. So we actually had, we had 4 attempted emails. I believe Ironport mitigated it for us. One of our systems stopped it, but we looked at it and we were like, oh shit, that is targeted as hell. And it was right after they had time, like hours to weaponize it. And we're like, oh, damn it. And there was no patch yet, so we kind of freaked out. And after they released 3 more 0 days from Flash, within like, what was it, 4 days or 5 a week or something, we're like, done, gone. So if you don't have Flash disabled by now, exploit kit, throw some statistics towards management and be like, just cut that crap out. I mean, we still have it on our clients and we'll whitelist certain internal uses and such, but forget it. Okay, and here's the Swift file coming down. It's boring. There's the actual, it's boring too. All right, the one Swift file had a decent detection back in early July, I guess, originally for a 7.13 analysis, 25 out of 55. AVware even knew it was Neutrino. It's like, we know that. All right. Well, they actually did, yeah. Yeah, so he's asking if we went to VirusTotal to see the error list detection. I believe on this sample it was either that day or a day prior. I might have made that shit up. I believe. See what I did there? All right, the one Swift file, and this is what Angular also did. The one flash file contains within it a secondary flash file. The secondary flash file is actually pulled into memory and then executed. So when you're doing analysis, you're really trying to pull out the secondary file, which is what we're going to do. So these binary data blobs are just little binary arrays that are stuck in here, and they get actually converted into, or they get pulled in as a byte array. You want to remember the byte array in ActionScript? You can just kind of guess what it is, just an array full of byte values, the individual direct byte values for fast machine processing. Simple as that. So what we're going to do is, I don't even know how to, I'm admitting on a recording, damn it. I don't even know if you can put the binary data blobs in it. I don't write Flash, I don't know. I learned Lingo. You remember Director? You remember Shockwave? You don't remember that? Yeah, back in like 1997, I learned the programming language for it. I studied my ass off and I learned it. And then like 2 months later, they were like, oh, Flash is better. I was like, fuck. Piece of shit. All right, so I don't know how to do that. But what I do know how to do is I just manually extract the hexadecimal values, paste it in as a string, and then I use Henry T's hex.as function. He's got a to array and a from array to convert between strings and arrays. Get it, girl. Just do it our way. And we were drunk last night, and Keith, because he's weird, told me to put Pokeballs on her chin. I don't know why I left him in there. All right, so we're going to do some extraction here. This is where we basically go into demo mode. So let me do a little quick time check there. Oh, yeah, 20 minutes. Oh, yeah, let's do it. So we're going to move over here. This is a Windows 8 malware VM. Technically, I actually got this when I did a little plug for SANS Institute. Their GREM Forensic 610 is their GIC reverse engineering of malware certification. So I went through that. Phenomenal class, by the way. And I just used this for my Windows 8 stuff because it's, I like it. So what are we doing? We're doing stage 1. Actually, no, we'll just open. I'm just going to open up Flash Develop directly and show you how I extracted out stage 2. So this is the part where it gets a little, like two-way communication is going to be kind of because I'm just going to show you a bunch of code crap, but yeah, I'll see what we get. So this resolution's horrible, but that's fine. All right, we're going to compile it. You ready? Oh, demo gods, don't be a dick. Oh, it compiled, holy hell. All right, run it. No, that's... Oh, I probably should have opened the proper project. Funny enough, I really didn't plan that. If you read that on the screen, that was pretty funny. That was 100% an accident, but I enjoyed that thoroughly. Dumbass. All right, so here we go. We're instantiating the class name that they had, and then we're starting it via startdammit.derp, which is going to do this. Yay. All right, the first thing we do is we fill this array called damnx. And well, it was called x, but it was pissing me off, so I changed it to damnx. And damnx is over here, right there. So this array holds some Flash-based commands, event listening, adding children to the stage, load bytes. They try to obfuscate by just using this array of referencing index values in it rather than using the phrases, whatever. So we fill that, we do that. Okay, go get it. And over here, it's looking for a stage environment. If you don't have a stage environment, you're probably in some kind of debugger or some type of working environment. So I just skip the part where we check for the stage, and I just call a function. So we call this function called R, and R, this is where it gets kind of funny, because sometimes they just give you like these really freaking obvious names with their variables. Like they try to make it so hard to read, and then you have crap like embed additional info. And you have even better, embed RC4 key. Oh, Rivers using RC4. Okay, that's just the variable name. That's kind of weird. So we're loading those, and this is what we're doing here. See how I'm using the function toArray, and then I just have a big long that goes off the screen hexadecimal value. We're just making our own byte arrays because that's just the way I do it. So once we do that, we then start this guy right here, embed landing. This will eventually be the variable that will contain the decoded second stage, if you can call it a second stage technically, I'm going to, Swift file that's going to be loaded into memory. So as we scroll down, all those different, you remember that big list of binary blobs basically? Those are all just catted. See, write bytes, write bytes, write bytes. and blah, 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 blah. So we're just going to skip past all that. And then we call this function, there you go. And then we call this function called D. And D is actually a decoder. So I guess they call it D because it decodes. That's cute. And we pass in, and again, look, I didn't write that. They wrote that. You pass in your RC4 key, and then your encrypted Swift file. And at this point, now it's decrypted. So what we're doing now is we're going to change it from a byte array to a string. And we're going to call it stage 2, because that's what I just want to call it. So we do that, and then now we're going to trace it. So tracing it, again, just means writing it out to the console. So as soon as I step over this, down here, this is the stage 2 file that we want. So I basically just pop that into a hex file, and then there it is. Now, you'll notice that down here what it does is it actually creates a loader, a flash loader, and then a loader reference object, and then it does some more crap that you don't care about. And then what it does is it's actually being sneaky little chump right here. See this function called M? Not only does it decode the second Swift into memory, but then it passes a byte array to a specific function in that second Swift file. And the purpose of that is multifold, actually, but one of the good ones for like trying to stop dynamic or static analysis is if you didn't notice that and you simply extracted stage 2 and you tried to run it, it would be like, where's my parameter? And you're like, oh, fucking parameter. Just run it. So it's another deobfuscation attempt. It also makes it so they can reuse the second stage container and just push new arrays into it so they can quickly weaponize new crap and push it out. I'm sure it's for other things too, but I don't know. So as soon as we pull that guy out, I popped it up on VirusTotal, and we had a detection ratio of 12 out of 54. And this was a couple weeks ago on the 21st of July. So stage 2, I just did that. Moving on. Stage 2 is they like stepped away from the obfuscation, and they were like, oh hell, no one's going to find this, so we're just going to name everything like exactly what it is. So there's some binary, what are these called? Binary data blocks again, and they're literally labeled like NW22. But see this underscore Swift right here? See that? They're telling me this is a Swift file for an exploit, and that's one, and that's one, and this is a VB script exploit, and that's one. I'm like, oh, okay, thank you. So, doing analysis on one of these exploits, I didn't identify a damn thing. It was identified as CVE 2015-8651. This is the one part that really pisses me off in this talk because I wish I had time to personally rip all 5 of these apart and find out exactly to ensure that they are the proper CVEs that I wanted them to be. I didn't have enough time though, because I had to change from Wrangler. Damn it. So this particular CVE, this is what VirusTotal said it was. So if this is what it is, it's just an integer overflow. If you're not familiar with an integer overflow, essentially if you have a bucket where you can store a certain amount of contents and you fill it up and you overflow it, you start overflowing your data into places that should not reside. So where you can probably get the instruction pointer to point to, and then you can get remote code execution, and shit like that. So, let's go pull it out. So we're gonna take a look at the stage 2 file now. Wait a minute, does this go till 55? All right. Hey, how many people here have never debugged shellcode before in your life? Raise your hand. Your hand was first. You want to help me out later?
Possibly.
You screwed yourself, bro. Oh. Gotcha. Well, I mean, never mind. All right.
Ask to borrow the cup.
What? No. What? All right, here we go. Let's do this. And we're going to go back into Flash Develop. We're going to load stage 2, and we're just going to kind of run through the code. So if you're wondering what's going on from this point forward, now we have stage 2 extracted out, right? And we also have the binary data that was actually pushed into it, so we're going to manually just shove that crap in there and run it. And I'm going to debug through it, show you exactly how it works. Eventually, once it creates these 5 exploits, we picked one. I grabbed one of them, and I analyzed that one. But we don't have time to deeply analyze it, so I'm going to show you the shell code. We're going to walk you or oh, shit. I thought he left. I was like, did he leave? What the hell? Screw that guy. I'm not doing that. You, sir. What's your name?
Ned.
Ned? I sound like you just made that up. Ned. Ned over there. We're going to actually have him debug the shellcode, and we're going to see what the shellcode does. It's really weird. I don't know why they do it. You'll see. All right, so here we go. We have stage. No, we don't. We didn't do it yet. We're going to open up the proper file before we do something stupid again. Stage 2. Close that. and main. Okay, so in stage 2, we are using getItGirl, and we're passing the array that I extracted out of the previous silliness from that M function. So this is the stuff that's supposed to be hidden, like, oh, you're not supposed to know it's there, right? We'll just pop it in there. And what that's going to do, first we're going to compile it. Oh, that's new, but I can ignore that. And I will. Okay. Here's your type declaration. Okay, so as soon as we start debugging, we see that we're in this method 3. ET gets called over here. That runs method 3. We go in here. So, all right, what are we doing? Well, first off, we're getting rid of this. That's in my way. That's in my way. And there. Okay, first thing we're going to do is we're going to call method 6. Method 6 is going to create a variable with strings to enumerate the client. Meaning it's going to find out exactly what machine it's running on, what browser it's running on, and the fun stuff, right? So let's take a look at how they do that. I forgot the button. There we go. So, lost my place. There you go. So what this does is it uses a combination of two things. Number one is it uses an external interface.call. Anyone familiar with external interface from ActionScript? It tries to grab the container to the engine that's actually processing your client-side browser scripting, meaning it runs JavaScript in our case. So we're going to run JavaScript, and some of this JavaScript does stuff like this. Window.navigator.appName. Simple as that. Just regular JavaScript commands, and it pulls the results back in. Another thing it uses is it uses ActionScript's capabilities feature, which I just found out about. So apparently within ActionScript 3 itself, you can enumerate what it's running on and such using capabilities library. Okay, so it's going to grab if there's a debugger present, the resolution of the screen, it's all this crap. So we're just going to step past this and take a look at the results. We didn't step past it yet. Now we did. And var1. So here's the results of processing that. Screen resolution's a little off here. Now, by the way, I lied. I lied to it. I told it that we're running IE 11. Netscape was my window name. We're running Windows 9. Windows 8 went full string. And I gave the user agent string for, I don't know, something. I picked one. And so I just lied to it. Instead of having it try to process that, because we don't have an external interface available in my debugger, so I just told it that we had stuff and move on with life. All right, next up we're going to call function 8 and our method 8. Oh, what now? Don't you dare, bastard. What are you doing? Oh, I just hit the wrong key. Cool story. All right, so here we're going to fill up this variable called variable 2, and this guy does. Oh, where's my locals? Oh. Am I blind? Do you see local over here? What did I do? All right, well, whatever. Boop. There we go. So variable 2 now is this. Do you remember that byte array that we actually pushed into the secondary Swift that was extracted out? What was in that? Well, it just got decoded, and what was in it is this stuff over here. There's a list of links. These links, the back URL means like if the exploit fails, like just go back to where the hell you just came from. I don't want to enumerate all of them, but some of them are for the specific exploits. And there's also a ping back. So what this little sucker does is if it finds out that it's about to run an exploit, it hits back to the server and says, hey, we're going to run this one. And it just helps them understand which works best in what environments, basically. Or at least I think that's what it's for. I don't know. And then here, they actually give us, look, they even call it key for the payload. There's our decryption key for the malware it's going to download later. Oh, cool. Thanks. Could have obfuscated that a little more, whatever. And then here are the actual, whether it's going to run these particular vulnerabilities. So 3 Swift or Flash-based vulnerabilities and 2 IE DBScript-based execution chains it's going to try to exploit. Okay, so we've jumped on past that. I'm going to stop hitting F6. On F6. Yep. Boop. All right, now we're going to call method 10. I don't know what the hell it does. Here's what it does. Oh, now we're looking to see if the client is actually inside of a non-standard like browser type of environment. We're looking to see if we're running Phantom, Node.js, Couch.js, Rhino, which is a front end basically for the SpiderMonkey JavaScript engine, which runs in like Mozilla Firefox, and then also if we're in a debugger. So right now, this is part of checking to see like, should I run right now or should I like back off? Is what it's looking at. And we're going to lie to it, of course. So we're just going to say, yeah, dude, you're good. And then we're going to run into method 11. Method 11 is the pingback. And all this does is it creates an image location. And that image location is just going to ping back to the servers by just trying to access it. And all it does is it tells them, like, so far so good, is what it's doing. Pretty simple stuff.
Does it provide an identifier? Does it know an identifier?
Surprisingly enough, at this point right here, it does not provide an identifier. It just loads a standard source and gives the link for JS ping. So later on, however, if the, oh, anyone hear the question? I'm sorry. I don't know what the 50 flag. Oh. That's horrible. I planned this all wrong. Okay, so screw all that. All right, here's what it does at the end. Shit. Caught me off guard there. Do I have to leave? Can I do 5 minutes questions? Sure. Yeah, okay, come on. Okay, so skipping that slow stuff over there, here's what happens. Exploits in a row. Like ducks sitting on a fence being shot down. We have, where did that shit come from? You threw me off my game, Jim. We have 2 different VB script, and then we have 3 different Flash exploits. These are separate Flash files that are once again loaded into memory, right? So let's go take a look at one of them. I pulled out one of them, and the one that I pulled out was this one right here, the one that executes what I believe is this guy right here. Now, when I extracted it out, I was going to show you how apparently I don't have time for that. So what it does, well, actually, first up, I popped it into VirusTotal this morning, actually. I forgot to upload the VirusTotal. I was like, oh, I should upload the VirusTotal. And when I did, it only had 5 out of 54 hits, and that's actually what tells me it was potentially this particular CD, the signature, which I don't fully trust, but based on the actual chain that I was going to show you, it does look like an integer overflow. I just couldn't confirm it in time. So, but notice, it actually associates it with RIG. See this little guy right there? RIG is one of the other popular exploit kits right now. It's not as popular as Neutrino, but it's probably number 2, I'm assuming, right now, pretty much. So, what does that little guy do? Well, essentially, it loads up some shellcode. Are you guys familiar with the concept of shellcode? If you're not, oh, I love the sliding. Yay. Shellcode is essentially what you're trying to do is you're trying to change the instruction pointer in the CPU, which is what tells the CPU what it's about to run or actually execute. You're trying to overwrite that with the beginning of your personal code. So once you can obtain that, the CPU then starts processing your code. It's called shellcode from an old term just coming from, usually it was used to pop a shell, or like a reverse shell, so that I can maintain access to your, or get access to your system, I should say. So we're going to take a look at some shellcode. The shellcode that it actually loads in this Swift file does a couple things. It finds itself in memory, required, I'll show you why. It XORs the rest of itself to prevent static analysis. And then it actually creates, or calls process create A, which is the ANSI version of process creation in the Windows library. So here's static analysis of the shellcode. The problem we have is down here. See where the analysis fails down here? Well, that's because see right here? See that 9A value? That's a single byte XOR key that it's going to use. And it's going to loop 596 times, hexadecimal times, and as it loops, it's going to decode itself. So static analysis fails flat because it's not XORed. So we're going to do live analysis. Oops, ignore that. All right, was it Ned? Was your fake name Ned?
Yeah.
You want to go up here and decode the shellcode?
Sure.
Okay, I pop the shellcode to an executable. We take the executable and we drop it into Ollie Debug 2. And Ollie Debug, all right, what you're going to do is you're basically just going to be pressing one of the F keys when I tell you, okay? All right, now, hold on. So the first thing we're doing here is the shellcode is actually going to jump down in itself. So you'll notice here it's going to jump short. So go ahead and hit F7. So now we just jumped over here. So we jumped to this memory location. This memory location now is going to call back up here. So why the hell is it going to do that? Anyone know why?
Pushes IRD onto the stack.
What's that?
It pushes IRD onto the stack.
Yep. So when you do a call, wait, what? Yeah. Sorry. When you do a call in assembly language, you're doing 2 things. You're pushing the next instruction location onto the stack, which is kind of like the working variable zones. Just consider that for right now. And then you make a jump. Now, the reason we're doing that is what? Why do we want to have that address on the stack?
You can't have variables show up there.
We can force buffers for them. Well, I'm going to now know where I am. I'm going to know my location. So because of address space layout randomization in Windows, was it Vista enough, right? Shellcode, whenever it starts to execute, and even when you're trying to exploit something, you have no idea where you're actually going to land in memory. So by doing this, it's finding out where it exists. Yeah. So go ahead and hit F7 and look down here. Boom. See that now? We have the value where we reside now. All right, go ahead and hit F7. We're going to pop it. So now EAX up here contains our location, so we know where we are. All right, hit F7 again. We're going to clear ECX. That's the counter register. So now we're going to basically start some counting. We're going to move this value here into CX, 596 in hex. Go ahead and hit F7. And then we're going to start our loop. This starts the loop right here. Oh, whoops, I'm missing my, yeah. There you go. We're going to start the decode process. So go ahead and hit F7. Right now we're moving, right now we're actually going to XOR by 9A, and we're pointing to this location over here. Follow and dump, memory address. So right down here, we're going to start XORing these values. All right, go ahead and hit F7. And you'll notice it just changed from B something to 22. And if you keep it, I was going to go through this one more time. We just got to keep going. Yeah, so basically, yeah, exactly what it's going to do. So it's starting at the bottom, and it's XORing, it's revealing itself, coming back up toward the top. So what we're going to do is we're just going to click right here. Go ahead and hit F2, and then F2 again, and then hit F9. All right, we just, what did you do? That's fine. What the hell did you do, Nick? You dick. All right, so now what we've just done is we've XORed, unXORed, basically. So if I do this, oh, hey, look. That's the data that was hidden previously. So this is all being done in shellcode, in assembly language on the processor, right? So now what we're going to do is we're going to jump. So hit F7, and then F7, F7. Guess what? F7. And again, and again, and again. Whoa, fucking guy. He's like, yeah! Okay, this right here, we're pushing FS30 points to what's referred to as the process environment block. It's part of the thread information block, the TIB. So essentially what that does is you're trying to find out information about processes that are currently running. So what you want to do is hit F7 again. We've just found NTDLL. It was just up there. So what it just did is it just found the location of NTDLL on the system. We're looking for kernel 32. When we find kernel 32, we can then find the functions that live inside kernel 32, and then we can call them and do shit. So hit F7 again. Did I write those? Did you just write that?
I did.
Lol and OU? I don't remember if I did that or not. All right, F7 again, and again, and then one more time.
Sure.
Yep, and then one more. All right, one more. All right, one more. Okay, one more. And one more. And then one more. All right, what we're about to do here is we're about to load the functions that are actually inside kernel 32. So if you look at the very top right-hand side, up here, hit F7 one more time. I like doing it one more time now. There. The first thing we have up here is a function name, acquire SRW lock. I don't know what the hell that is. Okay, cool. So what we're looking for right now is it's going to start a loop. It's looking for a particular Windows API-based function. All right? So we have a little bit of time. Thank you very much, Ed. Much appreciated. It's going to take the string that it has right now and compare it to this value here. And then if it finds that part, it's going to compare it to the next value here. So this is basically what it's looking for. We have the values of what it's looking for. So when we decode that, like say we just pop that into Python, it comes out as, we're looking for Eric's ass. Yeah! Anyone here named Eric? Anyone? Put your hand up. Look for your ass, bro. No? Whatever. Okay, so it's actually stored in little Indian format, so it's actually backwards. So we're looking for something that starts with create and ends in sa, which is create process. When we find it, we end up right here. So let's just do that guy. 2, F9 it. Take that off, F9. All right, so we just found the process that we want, and then I'm just going to expedite this process here. Wait for it. Wait for it. All right, so I skipped past it because the time got me. What a Dick. All right, so what it's going to do is we have this data in here, and it starts with command.exe. See right here? So what that's actually trying to do is the following. It just calls, I was going to show you where it loads the argument, but I wasn't looking in the right place because I got to rush for time, so I skipped it. That's fine. What it's going to do is this right here. It's going to run this. There's also some obfuscation here. The caret, if you try to run that in a JavaScript interpreter, it tries to run an XOR. Dick. You have to run it in command prompt. I'll stop now. Which comes to this, and this actually just executes the malware. So it opens up a stream on disk. I was going to show it to you, but we're basically out of time. So this right here, here's the thing though. Why the hell does it do this? The shell code does not execute a call to like URL download or something, but rather it runs command prompt and additional JavaScript that functions as a downloader. So why the hell does it do that? I don't know. I don't know why it does that. Maybe. I don't know, man. I'm like, that's dumb. Just do it. You have code execution on the box. So anyway, so once the malware runs, in this case it was the bend or orchard, is that what they do? So it encrypts disks, and then everyone's screwed, and everyone cries. So that's it. That's how Neutrino works. Hold on. Totally forgot about this until right now. All right, any questions? No, I didn't watch it. I was hoping no one would notice that. Thanks, Dick. Hopefully it was watched. I don't know. Win in Vegas, right? Yeah, Ned.
Yeah, that's it for now. You talked about how the JavaScript will pull down a Swift file.
Yeah.
An SD Swift file. So if you're blocking the JavaScript, or at least making it so you have to click on yes, run this, in the pop-up, will you see that it's coming from some wacky URL / whatever that the Swift file is bringing down?
That's a damn good question. So the JavaScript is running through the interpreter that's inside the Flash plugin, and I don't know if that particularly adheres to the same settings that you have in your browser. Everyone catch what he's saying when the JavaScript's running in the Swift file, like if you have JavaScript disabled, or like it pops up and says, are you sure you want to go to this place, stupid? Like, would you actually see that? The engine is technically different, but I don't know if they tie it back to those settings, so I don't know.
So you may not be able to see what's happening if you have JavaScript in the browser.
Yeah, it depends. That's something good to check, though. Well, I'm going to follow up with that. That's a good question. I like questions, Ned. Yeah.
So this is like it's all in Flash, so why is the dependency on export for?
Damn good question. You said it looks like it's all Flash-based JavaScript. I threw that in for you. Stuff, right? So why does it depend on an IE? Well, first off, EI test depends on an IE up front. But Neutrino also, I skipped that, I'm not talking about it. It does do some checks on the host. I forgot to show you that. By the way, it does enumerate your host. It looks for ESET. It looks for Malwarebytes. It looks for FF decoder, which is funny. FFDC. It checks to see if these things are all installed. There's a whole list of it, but again, timing-wise, I forgot to show you that. That was even your feedback, or everybody's gone. Anyways, yeah. So I forgot that you asked me. Oh, why is it dependent on Explorer? Well, there's two VBScript exploits that are specific to IE, because only IE runs VBScript, right? But for the Flash-based ones, I don't know, because in the Flash-based ones that I analyzed, nothing in there was solely dependent on IE. So I don't know. What? Yeah.
It check for if it's running in a virtual environment?
It sure the hell does. How much time do we have? Like a minute or two here? Yeah, we have 2 minutes technically. Look, this is the part that I didn't show you guys yet. So there's JavaScript. I jumped to the shell code because timing and stuff. But over here, actually over here, and there, and look, it even says debug me. Okay, I will. And then we open up this, and we hit that. So this JavaScript executes like this right before the final exploit fires off, right? And what this does, it fills this variable v, and then we can just be nosy and take a look at variable v. And if you look at variable v, here's what it's looking for. It looks for VirtualBox, it looks for VMware tools, Fiddler 2, which is just like web-based logging stuff. Wireshark FFDeck, so the program that I use for my analysis, if it's installed, it won't run. ESET antivirus, Bitdefender. There you go, there's a list.
So by installing Wireshark, you just protect yourself?
Yeah. I didn't even think of that. That's pretty simple, huh? anyone didn't hear that, to protect yourself, just install Wireshark. So yeah, it's going to look and enumerate to see it's installed and be like, well, I better not run.
Try to all the
Yeah, right? Just push it out the SCCM or whatever the hell you're using. All right, we're pretty much at today. I got the double stop now. Just shut my mouth. So, all right, gang, thank you very much.